Sports Buds TV. Join in as we explore the latest news and thrilling matchups. Whether you're a diehard or a casual, this is your destination.
All right. Welcome back. Everyone, this is Sports Buds TV. You heard it right. Sports Buds TV. My name is Serge. You got the main man, the co-pilot on the other side. What up, Fred?
¿Qué tranza mi rey? ¿Qué tranza mi Serge? ¿Qué
Que
onda?
rollo, que rollo. Well, Brody, Wednesday night, May 1st, and it's a new month. Nuevo mes, Cinco de Mayo. What does that mean? We got a lot going on.
Hey,
What up, bro?
May 1st, happy birthday and shout out to my cousin Andy, holding it down.
Shout out.
Randy, looking younger every year, young man.
Randall, what up? Nah, dude, shout out. Today's his birthday, early birthday? What's going on?
Yeah, it's his birthday, dog.
Dope.
I don't want to call him out on that.
¿Cuántas primaveras?
Oh, pues ya lleva varias. He already has a three.
Nah, that's good, man. Shout out. Good peeps. Well, you gave him a shout out, dude. My birthday's actually this month, coming up here in a few short days. So, nah. I'll give him a shine. You know, no need.
Hey, que no se te duerma. Drop the cash app so that way people can send you a birthday present.
The cash tag. God, dude. But good stuff, Brody. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to everyone listening. You're now listening. You're now tuned into Sports Buds TV. The name on the marquee. You already know what we're going to be talking about. It's sports, and today we got quite a bit for y'all. Of course, we start off where we do every show. The NFL is king. We'll pick things off there. But then we'll move on to what's heating up, and that's the NBA playoffs. Round one for some of these series are wrapped up, and pretty soon we'll be wrapping up for the rest. A matter of fact, today being Wednesday the 1st, by Thursday and Friday, round one should be done, has a possibility of being done. Just a matter of these teams, being able to close out. So there's that chance. That's on deck, and we'll wrap up the show with kind of what we're known for around these parts, right? The boxing guys. So a lot going on, bro. So y'all definitely stick around for the end there as we get into what's going on in boxing. But Fred, let's pick it up where we do every single week. The NFL is king. Actually, let's put up the teams up for everyone, kind of see your teams there. We just had the NFL draft last week, and everybody should be feeling good right now. The way the teams are set up right here do not indicate standings, so don't get, hey, why is my team, coming up at the end there, or we're bringing up the rear? Why are we up in, at the top there? But I think everybody should be feeling good. What do you think, Fred? You see your team up there. You see everybody else. Draft just happened last week. What are the feels right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they just put them like that because they're in alphabetical order. But
yeah,
per division. Yeah, but yeah, dude. Everybody, NFL fans are excited. We got brand new players. Filled in a lot of good gaps that we needed.
You said it.
So everybody right now is 0-0. Everybody just doing their thing with their new drafts. Now it's time to hit up the free agency too, and there's still a lot of teams out there. It's just that they can't negotiate yet. I believe it's after June 1st. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I know my team did really well in the draft this year.
Perfect. Well said, dude. And like you mentioned your team, how excited you are. A lot of us are feeling the same way. But let's talk about not only your team, but some other teams that overall did well in the draft. Matter of fact, there were 3 teams, one of which being your Steelers, that were graded, right? That were graded an overall A. They got a grade for their draft, right? This past week, and their picks. At least we have the picks 1 through day 1, 2, and 3, and it kind of gives you an average as how we got that overall letter grade. And in this case, your 3 teams, here they are. Got them for you all that are able to see on the screen. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Seattle Seahawks. Well done, well done. I'll just say quickly, and then I'll let you go with it. Last week when we talked about the draft and some of the picks that kind of stood out in that first round, I'm gonna have to toot my own horn, and I actually looked at that Worthy pick and how they were able to get creative and maneuver their way into making that pick. And look, overall they were graded an A for that day 1 pick, they being the Kansas City Chiefs. But you not too shabby. You had that Seattle pick that you were scouting, and you did pretty well for your eyes there. What do you think for the most part as far as that first round and the grades that we're seeing here for some of these teams?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and their first 3 picks were offensive needs. Xavier Worthy, the fastest receiver in the combine, he's gonna bring that speed. We talked about
Yes,
when
sir.
Andy Reid can get creative with
Right.
speedy receivers. The Seattle Seahawks, they also beefed up the offensive and the defensive line. I know Byron Murphy the second, he's one of those generational players, man. I really, if he would have landed three more spots to the Rams, I'm sure they would have selected him. He would have filled in that gap, that void that Aaron Donald left. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, if you look, Omar Khan and Tomlin are just doing masterpieces with, last year's draft and this year's draft. Just filling in the positions that we needed. If you notice, we got 4 solid picks in the top 100 players available. We got Troy Fautanu, who's an offensive tackle. He can also play the guard. We got one of the best centers, Zach Frazier, which is what we needed. And you pair him up with the players that we had, last year, Broderick Jones, Saumalu on the offensive line, Daniels. The running game is gonna be solid. We got a brand new quarterback, Russell Wilson, and then we're gonna pair him up with Michigan wide receiver Roman Wilson, and picked up in the 4th round, landed to our hands, Peyton Wilson, linebacker from NC State, who some consider is one of the best cover linebackers coming out of this year's draft. So just what we needed with the Steelers, an inside linebacker presence out there. Um, Masterpiece. Like I said, man, I'm satisfied with what we did this year. If I was to grade it, I would just probably give it like an A+.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I also can't help but hear some bias when as you're breaking down every single one of your picks and how you were hitting home runs. But no, man, good for you all. And for the most part, I think we agree it was definitely a good draft. And an A is, I mean, nobody got an A+, but no, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to the Seattle Seahawks for selecting UTEP linebacker
I was just going to say that.
With the pick 118. UTEP representing. What's up?
Yeah, I was going to say you gave shout outs to every single just about, but I was like, we need definitely to give. I mean, this podcast, we actually are in El Paso, Texas, so we'd have to just take a little bit of time to say shout out UTEP. These kids out there still making moves, getting drafted, and all the best of luck for the linebacker there at pick 118, Mr. Knight from UTEP. And
the Seahawks a diamond in the rough there, man. He's gonna cause chaos to the Rams. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, to go along with the pick you were talking about just a little while ago, that D tackle position in Murphy, pair him up there with Knight, and you think they're working on something to go along with what they already have. The Seahawks being in the NFC West, being a team that I'm used to my Rams playing at least twice a year, right? If they don't find each other in the playoffs. But with that said, they've already got a nice kind of core, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And you think these players can definitely help to produce for them. Now, is that something I'm rooting for? You bet your bottom dollar I am not. But, I mean, real recognize real, and they've made some good moves, especially in this draft that took place last week. But, the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and they walk away with just killing it in the draft. So they're not one to just stay behind and say, we're good. They're more than willing to get out there and get their hands dirty on and off the field, whether that's in the war room, right, with the heads of the franchise and everybody that is in the need to know bases. But yeah, good stuff overall for the NFL. The NFL is king. The draft alone, people take their, hey, I got to take a sick day. I got to check out the draft. Just that's how big the NFL is, man. You can't get away from it.
Pittsburgh Steelers, they landed a 100 in my book. They killed it in the draft. We're killing it in free agency. Rumor has it that, Omar Khan is looking to get like a big name wide receiver, pair him up with national champion rookie Roman Wilson, George Solid Hands Pickens. We can't forget about Calvin. Oh, man, we're going to be stacked. Watch. I'm going to be
and when
in February.
And when we started the talk here today, we kind of showed up on the graphic. You made the mention how they were in alphabetical order, but everybody got shine on their teams. But I feel like we spent quite a bit of time on the Steelers, and that's great. That's fine. That's dandy. Kudos to you all. But I'll have you know that the Rams, maybe we didn't get an A, but we got an A minus. Okay, so they weren't too far behind, and then I'm very happy and overall looking forward. You know what? Overall, I'm glad we got a kicker, dude. After all the woes the Rams have gone through, I'm hoping this guy that we drafted is able to make some field goals for us. It looks like he was darn near perfect from extra points, so that's always nice when you can send someone out there and be like, yeah, I'm thinking he will make this extra point for us, unlike what we had to deal with this past year.
Let me tell you, there's the NFL would not be the same without kickers. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, man.
So many Super Bowls have been won and lost because of the kicker.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But that is the NFL. The NFL is king, and on this show, we may talk about just about every topic in sports, but we definitely start off and make sure that we give the king the respect. And let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you agree with some of these picks that you see on your screen. If you think your team had a case for an overall A instead of an A minus, right? What have you? I mean, I guess they don't grade on a curve nowadays, but whatever. Thought all these kids nowadays got a easier grading curve than we did. But yeah, no, I guess we still get held to a different standard, right?
See.
Nah, man, but it's all good. So with that said, the next topic that we have for today, let's bring it up for you all. And before we actually get into who's still active, like we did for the NFL, let's put the teams in the NBA, the association. You can see everyone's team on there. And if you're not currently competing, there is a draft for the NBA that'll be taking place, I want to say within 2 weeks, but don't quote me on that. I know it is around the corner. So, if you're not playing right now, then chances are you're probably getting ready for that draft. More to come on that.
Facts.
But for those of you that are still able to see your team compete in the playoffs, we have your updated bracket where you see on your screen right now the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference, and if we look closely, there's some teams that have already made it out of the first round, Fred.
Yeah, there's two sweeps.
Yeah, and then there's actually, what is it? We've got one matchup set already to start on Saturday. The two other teams are waiting their matchups, but I kind of foreshadowed at the beginning of today's, program that by Thursday, by Friday, if some of these teams close it out, we will be able to move on to the second round, and things will really start heating up then. We're not there just yet, but the Mavs are on the heels there of the Clippers. We look over to the East. We also have the Cavs on the heels there of the Magic. But just tomorrow night, we could see the Pacers, Indiana, take care of business against the Bucks that are banged up. But your team, at least for this playoff run, I'll say the playoff run. I'm not saying they're your team, but for the playoff run, the Knickerbockers have a chance, man, to take care of business against the Sixers tomorrow night and advance. So things are going to be heating up. Anything you maybe are looking at that's jumping out at you that you've seen, because I know you've been following some of these games a bit closely. I know, like I mentioned, the Knicks have been one that you're rooting for. There you go.
Yeah, I've been watching every game. Found out that my girl has a membership for Max, and they actually broadcast the game. So I've been keeping up with the games. I saw some of the Pelicans Thunder. The Thunder looking sharp. I mean, that's why they're the number one seed, right? Blew out the Pelicans out the water. Clippers Mavericks. That's a great matchup. And whoever comes out of that and faces the Thunder, it's gonna be an even better matchup. I'm actually rooting for the Mavericks on that. Timberwolves Suns. JKZ. Homeboy from the podcast. His team got swept by Timberwolves. Ant-Man, is he the real deal? I think so. I've been saying if Ant could take down the Nuggets, he should be considered for MVP candidate. We saw what the Lakers did. Game 2, they lost a 20-point lead, and that's not gonna cut it in the playoffs. You know that, Serge. So I can't wait. The West is stacked. It's gonna be some great matchups in the conference semifinals. On the East, the Celtics beat the Heat tonight, so he eliminated. They talked a little shit, but they were still banged up. So Celtics are just too strong in the East. Cavs Magic. I haven't been seeing any of those games, to be honest with you, to give you much of a take on that. The Bucks, they are banged up against the Pacers. You know what? Looking at the bracket here, I could see the Knicks pulling off the win tomorrow and taking on the Pacers and moving on to facing the Celtics. Can you imagine a
Whoa.
conference semifinal? No, a conference final between the Knicks and the Celtics. That'd be fucking
Yeah,
epic. That'd
I
be
know we
epic.
see, I see Boston and New York, dude. So yeah, no, I'm here for it, dude.
Dude, it's gonna be some badass basketball coming out. So hopefully the Knicks, that's the team I'm going for in the playoffs, are able
Right.
to to pull off the win tomorrow. I know they kind of choked a little bit yesterday, or on Tuesday, but hey, Brunson's a beast. He'll bring him back. Just gotta make your
Yeah.
free throws.
Yeah, and I'll say
Um,
this. I don't want to get too far ahead, but I'm really looking forward to that Saturday night matchup. You're looking ahead a bit yourself, the matchup that we could see. But that matchup that we know will be going down on Saturday, the Timberwolves facing the defending champion Nuggets. I can't wait for that, man. You mentioned about, Ant, he wins, he should be MVP. I really feel like if he wins, all bets are off, and they may
yeah,
just go off and win the whole thing. So the Nuggets are the defending champs, man. So they gotta you gotta give them the benefit of the doubt until we get eliminated. I would say.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. These guys have been like balling all season. They've been balling for a few years. Murray's the truth. I mean, he had 2 game winners.
Yeah, yeah,
Or yeah, pretty much game winners.
yeah. He won
You know,
game 2, I believe, in this last game also for them. So right
yeah,
at the end of the game,
and you know what?
really
And some
nice.
and some of those role players like Porter, he's a baller, dude. He comes through. He'll drop
Yeah,
15, 20, easy.
yeah. You can't sleep
So
on him, and if you do, he makes you pay.
yeah, now the team over there from Oklahoma City, they're also fucking balling too, dude. So I could also see a matchup between the Thunder and the
The
Nuggets, or even
the
even
only
like
reason, go ahead.
no, sorry. I was gonna say the only other matchup that I could see like over top that one would be like like Mavericks against like the Nuggets. You're
Yeah.
like, ooh, it'd be a
The
crazy
the
matchup
only
because
thing I know a lot of us look at the Thunder and think like, oh, they're ready to make a run. I just something about the NBA, and it's more like a veteran type league. The Thunder, and they may not even like realize it. So sometimes when they don't realize it's a different like mindset. I would assume,
yeah,
but for the most part, a younger team as they advance, or as it gets second round, third round, then that's a different. If you've never been there, dude, it's just it's a it's a different way that it kind of ends up playing out. So
oh, dude, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you, Serge, because you need those playoff veteran miles. You need those playoff experience miles.
right.
And
And the only reason is if we compare them to their matchup in round one against the Pelicans. I mean, the Pelicans aren't, in my opinion, really like a team that has had these like playoff battles and
yeah, they were a playing
series
team.
deep
Yeah,
runs. So I feel like their next matchup, whether it's the Clippers or the Mavericks, that's a veteran team that's had deep playoff runs.
that
The
has
Clippers had a,
ballers,
yeah,
future Hall of Famers in their rosters for sure.
they both had teams, players that have won the chip, like you said, future Hall of Famers. It's just a different. It's not the same thing as it is going up against a team that's really never really
Yeah, and
done
I
all
could
that.
say the same thing with the Wolves and the Nuggets, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I
yeah.
think like if
The
like
only thing
that,
though is the Wolves took out the Suns, which they didn't win it, but they had made a deep playoff run. They had gone to
yeah,
the finals. Maybe not that team, but Booker, which is that's the only I'm saying like the Thunder.
no, it's because you
I don't
also
know
have
who
to
they.
see how I give a lot of credit to the Wolves because they not only
Yeah.
won the series, they swept the series,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
and
You're right.
they have, I mean, they have players that are maybe like in their first playoff series, maybe a few series, between the team. And
Right.
that's
Yep.
what I'm saying. If a player like Anthony Edwards can pull this and win the series against the
Imagine.
Nuggets with that squad, I mean, this is I hate to compare him, at this age, man, but I know it's been going on a lot on social media that he
Mhm.
has that MJ like gene. You know what I mean? Where this guy's just balling, dude. He's just balling. He's just like in a level a little bit faster than the others. His air time's a little bit higher than the others. The intensity is just like there for this young man, bro. So I could see him pull some shit like that against the Nuggets, but then again, the matchup favors more the Nuggets because they could bang it inside. They got speed with the pick and roll with Murray. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be a great matchup. Can't wait. I can't wait to.
Yeah. That's one I'm like, really looking forward to. I know you had mentioned, the possibility of Knicks versus Celtics, which is another one we would all look forward to eventually in the conference finals. But more to come. This is kind of wrapping up round one. Some more that we can look ahead to pretty soon. But like I've said a time already before on this show, let us know how you're feeling. What team do you think will go on that run, possibly win it all? Remember, you can find us on every platform at Sports Buds TV. Give us a like. Let us know your thoughts with a comment. And yeah, we definitely want to know your feelings. And if you feel that we've missed something, that there's a team that we've overlooked, share it with us. Knowledge is power, and we embrace that here. Anything else you have, Fred? As far as the NBA goes, anything we maybe need to touch on before we
Man, you
get
know
into
what?
the last part of our show today? What's that? What's
I
that?
don't know if you got a chance to catch that Knicks Sixers game. That was an epic collapse by the Knicks in the last minutes of the game. I put some blame. I
Ooh,
put
with
some
the
blame on the
three?
team. Yeah, I
Yeah.
put some blame on Robinson for getting that 4-point play. I put some blame on the coach for not. I mean, supposedly they were yelling at the team to foul him before Maxi took that three and
Yeah.
made it to take it overtime. Josh Hart needs to go. Joe Hart needs to go ahead and make his fucking free throws. If he would have made one, it would have pretty much put the Knicks on the next round. But hey, that's what playoff basketball is all about. One team wanted it more than the other one. So
Yeah.
tomorrow, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see that matchup. Other than
Yeah.
that, NBA playoffs are here. It's fucking getting really good in the second round. So we'll keep talking about it as the playoffs keep going. Tune in. Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
That was a crazy ending, but you said it. And as the old saying goes, the NBA, it's fantastic. So
Yes.
keep it here. We'll definitely be covering it. Before we wrap up for today, though, we've got one other topic which we've been accused of and called the boxing guys before. So let's get into the boxing news, especially the breaking news that hit just about everywhere today. This screenshot you're seeing right now that was taken just a little while ago, but ESPN reports Mike Coppinger, Ryan Garcia, which we saw in action just not this Saturday, the Saturday before, facing Devin Haney, failed his doping test the day before and the day of the fight over Devin Haney. This was a test done by VADA, also known as the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association.
A la verga.
You said it, dude. You said it. Now, the substance, it's apparently a PED, Osterine. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that the way it should be, but Ryan Garcia does have 10 days, as per this report, to request that his B sample be tested to, and maybe his hopes clear his name. But it is my understanding that if your A sample, is positive, then the chances your B sample will be as well. Now, there may be situations where there may be like a cross contamination can happen, right? But that's kind of hard and not something you see often, but not impossible. Not impossible. Let's be real. I know there's been some outlets that don't feel VADA is they feel like the best and most trusted method of testing, but it's one that's used by a lot of professional athletes. It's Devin Haney used the same one. He also got prepared the same way as Ryan. And this is big, man, especially after all, Ryan kind of made a splash for boxing after getting that win in the fashion that he did. And today with this report, and we saw Oscar at the final press against Munguia and Canelo, and he mentioned Canelo's past PED failed drug test, and it's just crazy how a little bit shortly after that, a fighter that he's representing currently is in the news for also failing a PED substance. Wow, dude, it was just crazy. So that's the report as far as Ryan, but Fred and gang, I also want to let y'all know about Devin Haney and his statement. Let's all just recap a little bit. Devin Haney is who Ryan fought just about 2 Saturdays ago. And basically, Devin lets us know that he learned about the situation not too long ago. He feels it's unfortunate that Ryan cheated, disrespected both the fans, the sport of boxing. He calls him a dirty, basically dirty for breaking positive. Not just, and he verifies that it not only was, the first time, but it was a second time, different dates. His stance is being a clean fighter, which definitely all of us should support and want. I would imagine every fighter to be, clean when they're going in there. This is a very dangerous sport. It's not like, forgive me, baseball where you're hitting a bat and it's, you're fighting another man, dude, and it's, in my opinion, not the same. So you definitely got to respect it and want to advocate for it being a clean sport. With the two reports we see right now, I mean, Devin goes into detail. People die in this sport from, competing in the ring. So the last thing you want to do is this be taken as a joking matter. Ryan's made a few jokes already, claiming that maybe it's because he has exposed some stuff or that he was taking supplements. And yeah, it's been really wild these last few hours, and with the breaking news that we got in boxing. What are you thinking after, the performance we saw that Ryan put up, and now the news that we're getting about how maybe that all came about? What are your how are you feeling about it? Because I believe you were kind of rooting for Devin, right? You had picked Devin in that fight, and he would. How does it kind of sit with you right now after hearing all this?
I mean, it's breaking news, especially because of the person of who it is. He this guy, he has a loud following. Um,
Right.
his antics prior to the fight. How some of his interviews after the fight. That he did, and
Oh
so
yeah, he's been everywhere. Sure.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so for something like this to happen to a guy that's in the spotlight like that, it's definitely breaking news. Now the science behind it, like you said, man, it gives a fighter an advantage, and the other fighters abiding by the rules of the contract, the code of the honor of boxing,
All right.
and
Yeah, yeah,
so he said it. I don't know if this guy's taking it serious, and apparently not. Apparently not.
yeah. Well,
What can
I'll
I
say
say?
this. We can all have opinions, and whether this was right or wrong. I made it clear, how I feel. You've let us know, how your thoughts are. But Chris Mannix reports there will be an investigation by the New York State Athletic Commission into
Yeah,
this FADA
reference.
result. Yes, sir. And among the options that are being discussed is overturning this result of the Haney Garcia fight and making it possibly a no contest. So this has real consequences, possibly depending on what the actual outcome is. That fight can be overturned in the end, and everyone will still remember how it went down, what happened. But on the record, maybe Haney can have that, because that ain't right either, dude. If this is the case and Ryan went in there straight up cheating, there was no tampering with his samples, he just cheated the sport. That's not right, and they should
I
They
mean,
should correct that and make it right for Devin. Go ahead.
it's gonna be in the people's, okay, the way that Garcia feels about it now. I mean, he got his payout. Yeah, he'll
Right.
maybe
Yep.
get the no contest. He might not get the win under his record, but this guy's still gonna keep fighting. He's still gonna move on, and he'll get maybe like a little bit of shade, But up the next fight, let's say he decides to fight Tank Davis or Theo or somebody from that division, it's still gonna be a must-watch pay-per-view event. You know what I mean? Now, if he comes out dirty, can they suspend him? I don't know. I don't know what they can do about that. You're the expert on that, but I think that will affect
Right.
them a little more. Maybe okay, you know what?
Yeah.
You can't fight for a year, or something like that. I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
the first
They.
time they've caught fighters coming out,
Right.
dead
Exactly.
dirty, allegedly. So they can also, base it on that. They can appeal, and who knows, man? I mean, it's still not, set in stone yet. It's still an allegation, but we'll see what happens, man.
So they do different things, but the biggest profile situations, and I say that because that's usually the most memorable ones, if I'm being honest. There may be other fighters that get popped and they're not as a big a profile, a big name, and it doesn't make the same like noise, the same news cycle, what have you, whatever you want to call it. But let's remember, Canelo Alvarez did pop for a PED, and in his situation, just to kind of compare, he, I believe, got suspended for 6 months
Yeah.
and was not able to compete. So
I mean,
if this is all true,
David
yeah,
Benavidez also came out dirty for a different substance, not a PED. But and did he get his title taken away because of that? What was his punishment? Did he get punished for that, or suspension, or?
as far as the David one, I don't know because it wasn't a PED, it was a recreational substance, which I don't know how that has to like. If you feel like that, he again, if we're gonna like compare it, like, oh well,
But what
there's
happened with
been
that
other
one? Did he?
fighters that also. Well, that's why I don't know like what the
Did he?
reason
Did
for
he?
it was. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the reason for is. All I can compare is PEDs to PEDs, and in the
Sure.
biggest profile fight that I know, Canelo popping for it twice. Also, he got suspended for 6 months.
Okay.
David
So
never,
there's.
in my understanding, never got suspended, but also it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
a PED. So like,
Right. So, but he didn't get the like, because I know he had to. They didn't take away the belt or something like that. I know something happened to him. No, he was kind of young and shit. I just can't remember if he got in trouble for it.
yeah. So that's got to be the time then, because he's had it. The belt, he's never lost it in the ring. He's never lost it to a man in the ring. He lost it for coming, I believe, 2 pounds overweight on the scale.
No
And
man.
then for the recreational one, like when he was 21. Yeah. So if you want to throw dirt on him, that's cool. But we're talking about PEDs and straight up cheating the sport, which I think is a little different. You might not. That's cool. But yeah, I feel like that's different. That's why the 6 month suspension happened in that case. And as
Yeah.
far as Ryan, going back to that, which was another PED user, which is also cheating. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to that, I'm just like, dude, I can understand. I'm not saying go and do recreational drugs, but I can understand somebody using a recreational drug versus somebody using a PED to cheat the sport.
Right.
Maybe I'm
Right.
not saying you should or don't. Like I'm just that's not the same thing to me.
No. No.
So
It's not, yeah, I agree.
so if he gets suspended or if there is any, the only thing I could compare it to is in that case where there was a 6 month suspension.
Mm.
Maybe Ryan would be facing the
Right.
same, but I don't know for sure because like I'm telling you, they handle things different for other people, dude. Okay, Oscar Valdez popped for a PD that he said was from a T, but they didn't take away the belt from him because you talked about what they did when David
Did he
popped
get
for a
this?
recreational one.
Did
To
he get
David,
this?
they take away the belt. No, they didn't. When Oscar Valdez popped for a PED, he didn't get suspended and he didn't lose the belt. So it's like it's just they don't have this criteria that like okay if it's this it's that. They have
Mm.
like a case by case. That's what they do really.
Orale, okay. So so depending on the outcome on this or whatever the commission finds on the results uh of the investigation they're about to start, they'll determine the punishment based on that. ¿Sabes qué, güey? Nah, si estamos a dar un año, güey, o estamos a dar 6 months. But
Yeah, and I would imagine that they got to look at how you're also kind of carrying yourself. I would think. I know Ryan can have like this. Why I did a camp of clean testing week after week, but he also had like, well, I was drinking. I was, you know what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
I'm not saying that they're correlated, but they can make a case for, well, were you in your right state when you were doing it? You know what I mean? They can fabricate anything at that point.
Yeah, that's what the investigation is gonna do, and let's see what happens, right? Like, where do we go from here? I mean, like I said, the guy might get the suspension, but when he comes back, he's gonna bring that hype. You know, he caught fame, pretty much went viral for the right or the wrong reasons. You know, I think either way, he fought really well. You know, even though he came a little overweight. You know, from what they said, but I don't know, man. See where it goes from for Garcia. Bad news for him.
Yeah, no, definitely not a good look, especially he's been all over. You mentioned about some of the rounds he's been making, some of the podcasts he's been on, some of the endorsements he's made. So
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see where all that goes. But that was just the breaking news. I mean, let's shed some light on some of the brighter spots. This weekend we had an event brought to you by Golden Boy themselves, and they actually had on their co-main event Virgil Ortiz. He wins his bout. He of course took care of Delorme, got him out of there in the first round. Really wasn't long at all. It was a body shot. Looks like it was to the solar plex. It was quick too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
And
that,
then
man. He got him.
yeah, yeah,
He
no,
got him
he
with that.
got
He
him
got him
good,
with that left uppercut. Boom,
and
and
he knew that it was once he landed. He was like, yeah, nah, he ain't getting up from that. Uh, we move on from Virgil to August. In August, I believe it's you have the date. You had shown it earlier. It's either at the beginning of August, but he's going to be part of that big mega card and be taking on Tim Tszyu. Is he ready for that? I mean, the record tells you he's a ready, killer in the ring to take out anybody. But let's take a step back and realize that he really hasn't been that active. He had some of the health issues, and I'm wishing him all the best. Hopefully, he's past that and is doing well. He is fit. And the other thing is, these last two fights he's had, he's gotten rid of the opponent right away, which is great for him. And didn't take any punishment, but you're also not getting that burn that you need, that experience. You need to kind of stay sharp,
yeah,
and you're not really able to do that if you're not lasting more than a round with an opponent, I would think. So I'm looking forward to it. I definitely hope he's able to take care of business against Tim Tszyu, but we will see. Tim Tszyu has been tested before, and I'm looking forward to that fight in August. But in the main event on Saturday, we saw Jose Ramirez. He took on Bartholomew, and that was a
that was
bit
a
of
great
a
fight.
slug. Yeah, it became an entertaining fight as the fight got closer and closer there towards the end. It kept getting more entertaining. It looked like Jose was taking care of business, but Bartholomew just kept that sense of danger that he could maybe hurt Jose and end the fight. Now it didn't happen, but I feel like he did catch him a few times and just kept that sense of the danger of the possibility throughout the fight.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I mean, both fighters had each other at one point. I believe in the second round, Bartholomew, he caught Ramirez with the he was hitting him with just the straight lefts, blam, back to back. I think he nailed him with like three in a row, and he caught him. He stunned him, but Ramirez held on, finished off the round. I think Ramirez took the next two rounds, but then Bartholomew, like you said, kept coming back, and it was entertaining,
Right.
man. It was entertaining. I think Ramirez, uh, showed will, and he got him. Eventually, he got him.
Ramirez, a couple of years back, I was really like following his career. He was going to face Josh Taylor for undisputed at 140, and at that point, it's like at the peak where I'm like, yeah, like this is it. It's his moment. And unfortunately, he didn't. He came up short that day. He lost. He actually got dropped twice. And watching that fight, I remember thinking back and watching it that night, like he gave a lot of respect and was a real like I don't want to say nice guy, but just not as aggressive. Let's say as aggressive as I would have hoped he could have been in that fight. Fast
Yeah,
forward to Saturday night, and there are those. He's no longer. You can tell he's maybe lost, if not a full step, half a step, because he's not as quick. But he's still an entertaining fighter. If I'm honest, I'm a fan of his. So I see him and I'm like, all right, Jose, you still got it, dude. Come on, make it happen. And it was crazy, dude, because that aggression was there. I feel like against
yeah,
Bartholomew, where it was lacking in that Josh Taylor one. I don't know if he feels the same way. And now he's like, if anything, I'm never going to go out like that again for a lack of aggression. It won't be for a lack of aggression. Like, if I'm going to go out, I'll lose on the cards or by knockout, but it won't be because I let the other guy. Like, we can both be aggressive. I'm just not going to let him, like, I'm going to make sure that I'm here all night. And I feel like he was just that all night. He kept trying to come forward. Because Bartholomew was a threat, dude. So he kept just sticking that punch in his face all night, hitting to the body. Beautiful body work, I thought. But, yeah, man, you could definitely see that. He's not the same fighter. He's towards the end of his career. And we'll see at 140. I mean, after the news with Ryan, I for a second there, I thought maybe Ryan and him would be a good, entertaining fight. But we got to clear up whatever the heck happened with that guy before we set up any fights for him.
Yeah.
But Jose, I mean, he could still get in there with. You talked about some of the champs in the division: Teofimo, Devin Haney, Subriel Matias. Does he beat any of them? Probably not, but he may put in an entertaining fight. And at this point in his career, I think he wants that to be a champion one more time, and
Or at least get the opportunity.
Hopefully it happens.
Yeah,
at least the opportunity for sure. And if it doesn't happen, forget it. F it. It doesn't happen. But just let him go for the shot.
Yeah. Let him.
Especially like right now, Brian's a basket case. He's a good fighter, man. He's a good name, an entertaining fighter. I think it's worth putting him in there against one of the champs.
Yeah, give him a shot. Give him one of those Rocky moments. It may be his last full Raw. Who knows? Pitbull
was the other guy I didn't mention, but Pitbull's the other champ in that division, dude. So I like I said, does he beat any of the champions? Probably not, but let's not count him out. The guy.
I could see him. I could see him against Pitbull. I could see that matchup. Both are like sluggers like that. I don't, like you said, I don't think he'll take the W. I don't know yet, but I could see that matchup.
Yeah, man. I definitely would be tuned in. So more to come for Jose Ramirez. We talked about Virgil Ortiz and what's in his near future, but we are actually at fight week, brother. And this week, we actually have two big fights. And just quickly, I want to put up on here on your screen to start things off. This actually will take place May 6th, and it's going to be an early one for us here in the States. We will see Naoya Inoue taking on Luis Neri. And this is definitely one, if you're able to wake up early, because it's quite a bit of an early wake-up call. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. If you don't get that wake-up call, catch it back on that replay because it's worth a watch. Luis Neri is always a warrior. You can see the flag right there in the background. Mexican warrior, always ready to come forward and put up a fight. And Inoue is a pound-for-pound top 3 fighter in the world. This guy's unstoppable. He goes by the name Monster. So something has to give come May 6th. It is fight week. Don't miss it. This one is brought to you by Top Rank. So you can catch it on ESPN+. Fight week. Naoya Inoue against Luis Neri. You don't want to miss this one. Now, mentioned fight week. Before we get into May 6th, we got a big one for you all on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And we will see Canelo Alvarez taking on Jaime Munguia. And Canelo says, I'm putting all the belts on the line for the 168 division. If you think you're man enough, come and take them from me, Jaime Munguia. Now, we actually got the final press conference today.
Yep.
And all of the key members were in attendance, right? Tomorrow, I believe we got the workouts, maybe the open workouts. So that'll be nice. Maybe some words from the fighters. And then on Friday, we'll have the weigh-in. And if you've been following the show, you know the weigh-in's pretty big for us here. I know for myself, I like to see how they come into the weigh-in, that final face-off. So keep it here. We definitely want to cover that weigh-in for you all on Friday. But today was that final press conference, and we've got an image here for you all. If you see your screen, you see Oscar had some words, and then Canelo didn't take too kindly to them words. So he let him know and know maybe certain ways how he feels about Oscar, and you see them kind of jawing back and forth. But you look closely, you can also see Jaime Munguia kind of chuckle there a bit. And he's looking at Canelo, to be completely honest. He's looking at him like,
yeah,
maybe this is a bit funny, humorous to him. And it's just a moment in time. I mean, if you go through the video, it's just but a picture. If a picture says 1,000 words, what would this picture be saying to you, Fred?
no, I mean, no manches, it's
Like if I'm Munguia, if I'm my bad, because I asked you, but if I'm Munguia, it's like, mi rey, vas conmigo, no vas con él? Kind of, like.
yeah, honestly, I would definitely pay to see Canelo against Oscar. But
Nah, dude, don't even, dude. Oscar's an old man now, dude. Stop.
I would love to. I'll pay to see some money on that.
I'll tell you this. Oscar is an old man at this point, dude. If Canelo is that upset and that angry and wants to fight, there's a guy in his division that was ranked #1 to fight him for over 3 years, and he never had that same energy. It's crazy. I'd pay to see him fight that guy. But no, I hear you, man. I hear you. I thought it was interesting, dude. I thought it was interesting. In my opinion, he got under his skin. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, he just got heated. He just got under his skin, man, and apparently Oscar, started taking shots because Canelo, like you said, every opportunity he got, he threw a little bit of jabs at De La Hoya. And I mean, right now in hip hop, we're in beef season,
Right.
So what better time than to drop some beef and clear things up, I guess.
You
I
mean
mean, like you
Euphoria?
said, he was just speaking facts. He said, right, like he wasn't making up shit. There's opinions, and then there's facts, and he was just saying Canelo tested positive twice, and Canelo didn't like that he brought that shit up to the public. I guess even though the public already knows, and the way he reacted, he went at this guy. He called him a mother blubber, and what happened next, man? They started taking shots, saying that is, Oscar de la Hoya, he steals from his fighters, and so Oscar's all like, you know what, that's defamation. I might sue his ass. And I don't know, Oscar's the type of businessman that will go ahead and pursue some kind of lawsuit for defamation. He takes this sport very seriously for sure, man. That's a fact. And he's gonna.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? I'm sure he didn't like hearing that, but at the end of the day, the reason he brought up the legal term defamation is we got to understand Golden Boy is a business. So if you're going to accuse a business of doing shady business, then I would just expect, in all honesty, that the business is going to handle it the way they should and take it into a legal matter. I mean, is that not how any other business would approach it? Don't you think? I mean, let's put aside like it's Golden Boy and it's Canelo. It's just like you can't just, unless you have proof, then you can run your mouth all you want. But otherwise, you kind of can't just be saying stuff like that. Is when you're affecting a business and how they handle and conduct their business, because he's basically doing that at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he can call him a ratero. You can criticize the business. You can leave him a bad review per se.
But that's an opinion. He can't be like, oh, you other fighters, the way he does, like you gotta like be like my opinion, my experience, that's different. That's why Oscar was like, that's a defamation like situation. And it may not go far, but there's definitely made a case, I would say, because like you can't just put up maybes without having proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man.
So
I get it. Pero yeah, I mean, I just know that these guys really have had beef for some time. They used to be business partners at a few years ago, well, many years ago now, and you know, Oscar said there's he's a peaceful dude. He buries a hatchet with a lot of people, but this is one that he's not gonna bury, and that train has already passed, that boat has already sailed, and that's how he feels about Canelo. So it's in a way, it's also, it's a sport, where you have to pretty much get viewers. You got to bring this type of attitude. Sometimes it's a fight. It's a fight. There's a lot on the
yeah,
line. There's belts on the line. There's millions on the line. So Oscar's also
no,
trying to
no,
hype up the fight too.
and Oscar ain't dumb either. Like you said, he's hyping it up, dude. Today, right after this happened, on X, formerly known as Twitter, number one trend was Canelo with Oscar. So Oscar's not doing that. Do we know if Canelo's trending number one, if his fight's even trending this? Because Canelo and Munguia aren't really going back and forth. So right now, Oscar and Canelo did that and are helping sell the fight.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they're doing, man. That's exactly what they're doing, and I like it. I like it.
I'll just say this: the way I see that in this picture, Canelo looks more than ready to, and like he said, like I'm ready to like take you on too. Like the last person that was so mad and like overlooking their opponent, we saw Devin Haney. It didn't turn out well for him in the ring. Now we know what happened with Ryan and how he actually went into the ring, but this may work out for Jaime Munguia if you're more focused on somebody out of the ring than you are the guy in the ring, which I don't think Canelo is naive or immature or like even like dumb-witted enough to get that by him. But I'm saying, dude, you don't want to open that door where like you're wanting to talk more smack to Oscar and prove him wrong than like focus on the guy that you're fighting in front of you.
Yeah, yeah. Mungia is definitely a great opponent. He is no scrub whatsoever. There's a lot on the line. These are opportunities that don't come along often. So I know Mungia is gonna take every. He's gonna give everything he's got for Saturday. So it's gonna be a great fight, man. And so far the fireworks, that were lit up today, I know that they're gonna carry on to Saturday's fight.
Yes, sir. You said it. It is Saturday, May 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. May the 4th be with you. Canelo versus Munguia for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. And I've said it before on this show, something has to give. Keep it here. We will have more coverage after the weigh-in. It'll either be myself and either Fred or, either JKZ, but we definitely will have you covered here. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know your prediction, what you think will go down on Saturday night. Let us know how you feel after the weigh-in. Remember, you can find us everywhere on all platforms at SportsBuds TV. I can't wait for this one, bro. I can't wait to see what happens in the NBA, right, as we wrap up that first round, what's going on with some more of the offseason moves in the NFL. But boxing is lit, and don't miss the main event on Saturday night. What do you have before we wrap it up? We've got about an hour in today, a good show. What do you got before we wrap it up, Fred?
No, man. There's a lot of great things happening in sports right now. Stay tuned. You know, feel free to give us some feedback, your comments. Subscribe, share, and stay tuned. Stay tuned for Friday's show. It's gonna be a good one too.
Don't miss it. My name is Serge. It's the homie Fred. Y'all be good.
Peace.
Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the latest episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. See you on the next one.